So Fortnite announces the end as final season 10 event powers down, leaving millions with black holes on screen. Yes, there's no other way to interpret that. Gavin, did you watch this live event? I was actually home when it happened.
I wasn't there, but I did. I kept popping around to different streamers.
Yeah.
I think it was last night, and I was like, "Why the fuck is everyone taking so long to load?"
Yeah.
Like that was.
But you're just seeing that image, or
yeah, and I was also very confused because one guy he had a different load screen than everyone else did, and I realized later that someone had made art with stars swirling around as well, and it made it look so much cooler. But I'm like, why? Oh,
Gotcha.
Eventually I figured it out. But whoever did that did a phenomenal job. I think it was some guy, like big popular streamer, like Tfue or something like that.
Okay.
He looks kind of like a knockoff of, was it not Ryan Paul, but
Logan Paul.
Yeah, he looks like a knockoff of Logan Paul.
Gotcha. Well, I think they all look like the same knockoff of somebody.
I'm sure he's heard 1,000 times before. So
now this is from Business Insider. They break down the nitty gritty. Kat Tenbarg writes, the final Fortnite Season 10 event ended suddenly, with every player's screen going black and showing a black hole graphic instead. As millions of gamers tuned in to streams in their own games, they suddenly lost the ability to log in. The only action on the display is an exit button, and the official Fortnite Twitter account tweeted, "This is the end." If the tweet wasn't enough confirmation, the end was definitely a planned sequence by Fortnite creator Epic Games, as the lobby of the game showed a special galaxy collapse animation for those who were in at the time of the server power down. So it was for sure planned, but it's kind of a ballsy thing because this is the biggest game basically in the world, and now they've shut it off for X amount of time.
this is unprecedented.
Yeah, no, who does that?
No one's
on
done
purpose, because like we had just Destiny released a DLC recently. I think it was Shadowkeep, and they had complaints because they were fumbling with the servers and they couldn't get it online in time. So that happens, but it's never like a planned thing, I guess.
I think the only time I've ever seen it, if I remember correctly, I think that happened for like a long swath of time at the beginning of Grand Theft Auto 4's multiplayer.
Oh, you're right. I remember
because it was bad though.
Yeah,
they were just like, "I'm sorry, this shit's busted. Take it back down.
Yeah,
we'll come back later." But this is no. You have arguably the most successful, or one of the most successful games in the world.
Yeah.
And you just stop making money off of it for a few days. That's
how did they swing that by their investors and stuff? Like, hey, we got this idea.
They have one guy that owns 60% of the company. So you got to convince that one guy who's a huge fucking nerd.
Gotcha.
They're just like, "Hey, boss, what if we took it down for a couple of days?" And Ivan's just like, "Let's fucking go." Not like that. He's like, have you seen this guy?
No.
He is the epitome. I remember seeing him in like E3 presentations because he do a ton of them, and I'm like, you were like what people picture when they picture a nerd, like especially in the 90s. I'm like, you were just like the nerdiest person in any room you walk into. John Carmack sees you and goes, "Not cool enough to sit at my table."
I was thinking he's the epitome of a nerd gamer to me too, John Carmack.
Oh, absolutely. And
That's
he's a mega nerd. But like this, but I mean, this guy is tremendously smart, and I think he's got that kind of golden thing of he's very good as a programmer. He's very good at, I want to say, designing. I mean, he's been making these epic games forever. Tim Sweeney.
Gotcha. I've heard that name, so yeah.
And he's good at business. Like you can't.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Well, it's worse when you hear him talk. But he's damn good at doing this.
Gotcha.
And the fact that he owns the big enough percent of this country, or not this country,
maybe one day.
Yeah. When he runs for president and all these kids are now 18, he's gonna be the first person to.
My brain just imploded. You're right.
Like no one would stand a chance.
Yeah, we're gonna see the next president doing that like floss dance and just to get votes. It's gonna be tough out there.
But he took this, and again, like no one can count on the success of Fortnite. You can't, even when they were making it. I think they just wanted to make their own battle royale. They couldn't have accounted on it becoming what it is today.
Oh yeah.
But he's done good things with it, aside from the Epic Store, which is still a pile of trash.
I know you interact with it, and I know you tell me it's not. They need to work on that. So I'm just pulling up just kind of what users were seeing. So, and there's music and stuff going along with this. Like, it's pretty epic.
Could this have been like you're about to win?
No, so they used to do that where it was like actual live events, and if you die, you die.
That's
but
great.
now they have a special that takes over every option, so you can only play this live event where you can't die and you can experience the actual thing in game. But for those who couldn't get in, the actual menu screen had a reaction too, where there was a black hole that enveloped everything. Now this is what this is setting up is season 2 where they revamp the actual map and do just like a change up of everything.
And you saw the screenshot of the map, or maybe it was like a freeze frame.
There's a leaked video which I have pulled up as well.
Oh, there's a video. I thought it was just a screenshot.
No, it's because I think you're right where it's premiering tomorrow.
I think that's a strong leaked on that one.
Gotcha. I see. Now the most likely tomorrow is the actual Tuesday is the day of this thing goes live. So there's this video that showcases the features. So this is an actual leaked.
That may actually be leaked.
Yeah. So this is an actual like HD version of it. So it's showing new ways to level up.
Does it look better? Or am I crazy?
They might revamp the textures, but I think it actually surprisingly looks pretty good.
You fishing?
Yeah, there's fishing. You can hide.
You can hide? What do you mean you can hide?
You can hide in garbage cans, and you can swim is another thing.
That was a huge dive. There's vehicles. There's more vehicles.
Yeah, so the boat, which can carry up to 4 or 5 people. So this is what they will imagine they'll launch when they actually open it up tomorrow. Yep. So some of the features are detailed here. Now, this is Jay Peters of The Verge. They have written, leaked Fortnite Chapter 2 trailer provides a first glimpse at the new island. Fortnite has been down since Sunday's season-ending event, which has left millions of players staring at a mysterious black hole while they wait for details. The trailer, which is leaked, the trailer looks to confirm rumors that the game will be getting an entirely new map next season. The video shows off a number of new locales, including a river, power plant, a beach, and a fishing pond. And yes, in the new season, it appears you'll actually be able to fish in that fishing pond, as well as drive a boat, swim, and hop around on a pogo stick. The trailer says that there will be new ways to level up and shows hints of how that might actually translate into the game. Players in the trailer get medals for a headshot, opening a treasure chest, and even chopping down a tree. And of course, the trailer shows off many new skins, including a large creature.
Participation medals.
Yeah, I think anytime they can get people just existing in that world, they just get everyone staying in these modes. So that was a leaked video showing off some of the features, and we're gonna get a new map. The resident expert in my life is my nephew who loves the game, and so he was.
It's funny that like. That's not even like, as far as a term, like calling like your little nephew the resident expert on like Fortnite. Like that's actually a legit source. Like kids today, like they know they're in with the lore.
Yep, and he ingests all the like what if or like fringe YouTube videos where they break stuff down when it comes to Fortnite or like conspiracy theories with Fortnite. So he's fully in depth in that, and so he knew about the the event that was going to happen this weekend. They had advertised it as well, but like he's been trying to dig apart because people were. Also trying to, when that black hole screen came on, there's various numbers that came on, and also you could play like a mini game within that. But there's like numbers that flash on screen, and people have Googled those numbers to try and figure out what does it mean. Is there like a countdown? They haven't figured anything out. But
that's impressive that the internet, considering like when what was it was that trailer with John Wick in it, Cyberpunk.
Or where they flashed
stuff? They flashed the code on screen, and people pulled out like 12 dozen codes for The Witcher off of that before the end of the trailer was even done. Like the fact that this isn't cracked, like that's impressive.
Yeah.
So if it's not cracked yet, that to me says not all the information is available.
Interesting. Well, I mean, the video itself leaked, and that's a pretty big one, but an actual date hasn't leaked yet. But I think we can imagine that they're not going to go for very long with it being turned off because this is the biggest game in the world. Also, there was a big scare with like apparently parents, bombarding the Twitter account for Fortnite, asking like, "Hey, what's the deal with our V-Bucks?" Because my kid, I've spent $100 on my shitty kid.
Their V-Bucks are fine.
They are. So the PlayStation account, Ask PlayStation, tweeted, "Please be assured that your inventory items and V-Bucks are secure during the Fortnite blackout. For any other questions, they divert you to epicgames.com." But that was a worry that people had. But it's all.
I get that. If you don't know about games, you'd be worried.
You just think somebody plug it back in.
Someone threw out all of my internet dollars.
Yeah. But it's
just a crazy thing about digital currency, like fake dollars. You could just do that.
You can.
You shouldn't, but you could.
These are with the the characters and stuff you buy through Fortnite. They're action figures that are digital, so they don't live anywhere. But we'll see. Apparently, all signs lead to tomorrow. They actually premiere season 2. It's just a pretty masterful way to draw up attention because now you get people who play Fortnite and dropped off, And now this is just taking over the news completely as far as like video game news, where it's like, hey, they unplugged the game. Like no one does that. So now they will get the attention that will be on season 2 will be monumental. Like everyone will be paying attention to that.
I think one of the neat thing too is whoever convinced Tim Sweeney to let them do this, I'm sure was shitting their britches. Saying like, Tim, I know. We're making like $2 billion. We're making $1 billion every day.
Right.
Let's turn it off for 2 days. And then he was probably like, when he did it, he was probably like, this is going to be the worst decision I ever made. No one's ever going to come back. And then, like there's that fear. And then he did it, and the internet's going nuts. And he's like, "Oh, okay, that was going to be my job right there, just donezo if this didn't work." And it worked, and it's so good for them. Yeah. No one else can do this.
No, they kind of they broken the mold. You can't do that again.
They can do this again if they do season 3. They can absolutely do this again. I think people are going to expect something.
You got to do it
even
different,
bigger.
Yeah, that's true. Where they go to your house
for a year,
or they go to your house and just like throw your Xbox on the ground or something.
You got to buy the Fortnite console. Yeah.
They might be able to do it. I don't know.
Gavin,
so that's the weekly Fortnite news.